during Wit and Wisdom before. It is called an inference. Repeat after me. Inference.
Inference.
An inference. Tracking me. Good job. An inference is when you read something in a text and you make an educated guess as to what is going on. An educated guess means it's a smart guess. Here's a non-example. What if I looked outside and there was water on the ground and the clouds were dark? An educated guess would be, maybe it just rained, or maybe it's been raining, right? That's an educated guess, that's a smart guess. A non-educated guess would be that somebody came and took 1,000 water balloons and exploded them all over outside. That's a non-educated guess because it's not as logical as it raining. I used the clues and I made an educated or a smart guess. So we want to make good guesses as to what's happened, not like crazy guesses that could have happened, but they're not as smart. We want to make educated ones. I'll come back to you. When we make an educated guess, we can use two things to help us. The first thing we can use is the text. So what we read in the text can help us make an educated guess. And what we know about the world. So for our water or rain example, I know that when the clouds are dark, it often means it's about to rain. That's something I know about the world. And so I use that to help me make my educated guess. In your text, Amos and Boris, there at the end of the text, Boris gets stuck on land, right? You guys told me he's a whale, he gets stuck on land, he has to figure out what to do. An example of an inference would be that I can infer, or I can guess, that Boris is probably feeling helpless at that time, and he's nervous that Amos isn't going to be able to help him. And I'm thinking that because Amos, remember, is really small, and Boris is really
big.
So I can infer, I can make a logical guess that he's feeling pretty nervous that little baby Amos is going to be able to move him off of the beach. That is an educated guess. That's an inference. I used what I read in the story and what I know in the world to help me make that guess. Because I know it's hard for little bitty things to move really big things because they're often not strong enough, right? So I used two things. Great. All right, tell your table mates, what is an inference and what two things you can use to help you make an inference? Go.
What's an inference?
Tell them what an inference is. An inference is good. What two things can you use to make an inference? The text and just my usual smart brain knowledge, right? I'm going to use what I already know and what I read. All right, guys. And you can remember what I say inference.
Inference.
Ooh, let's try again. And you can remember what I say inference.
Inference.
Ooh, I like it. Good job. Tell me, what two things can I use when I want to make an inference or an educated guess? What two things can I use? Let's see. Tell me. Angel, what's one of the things I can use? When I want to make an inference, what's one of the things I can use? I can use a text. Good, what I read. What else can I use? Cesar. My knowledge about the world, which just means my smart brain, what I already know about the world. Great job, guys. Let's practice the steps, and then we're going to use our yellow paper. Make sure it's still flipped over, though. Good job. All right, guys, when I make an inference, I'm going to go through the following steps. I'm going to show you how to do these steps with your yellow paper. So now, flip your yellow paper over to the front side and quickly put your name on the top. Let's see who can be first. Give a thumbs up once you got it. Ooh, Cesar was quick, Josh. Ooh, Giovanni was good. Ooh, Miguel, that was super fast. Really nice job. Oh my gosh, I owe you 3 student points. 1, 2, 3. For how quickly y'all wrote your names and how quiet you wrote your names. Today we are on point. Okay, here we go. All right, before we get started, we are going to have to remember what we read yesterday. So I'm going to give you a quick second to remind your neighbors what the story was about yesterday. You remember the story involved Carlos tell your
And his
neighbor.
mom and dad.
And his mom and dad. Thank you. See if you can tell your neighbor who the characters were, what was the problem, and how was it fixed. Tell your table mates. Go. The characters were. Alright, let's see if we can do it. Nice. Alright. I heard a lot of people saying the correct characters, the correct problem, and the correct resolution. Great job. Today we're going to practice making an inference from everything we remember yesterday. Right now, you are going to be looking at the problem that says model. Find the problem that says model. It's the first problem. Point to problem number 1, so I know you got it. Pointing in 3, pointing in 2. The next is got it pointing in 1. Alright. I am going to do a teacher model. Remember, when I do a teacher model, you guys are listening, and if I write it, you write it. If I write it, you write it. If I write it,
You write it.
you, Liliana, good job. So you're going to write everything that I write. Alright. Are we good over here? Yeah, we can get along. Okay. Alright, here we go, guys. The teacher model beginning now. I am going to show you how to do the steps to do a correct inference. Then you're going to have a chance to do it on your own. Here we go. The first step is I'm going to box in. I'm going to box in the inference that they are making in this question. Watch me. It says, Carlos plays his music loudly because he blank. I'm thinking in my head, what are they trying to infer here? He plays his music loudly for a reason. So let's box it in. Here we go. Carlos plays his music loudly. Box it in. I boxed it, you box it. Box it in now in 5, 4. Box it in 3. Box it in 2. Box it in 1. Nice job. This is the inference that I'm trying to prove. Make sure it's a box and not an underline. Good job. Make sure it's a box and not an underline. Box it. You have 4 balls about in the box. Good. All right. Now I'm going to draw a thought bubble. You guys have learned about thought bubbles before. I'm already going to draw my thought bubble right here. Go ahead and draw a big bubble on the side of question number 1. Nice. Thought bubbles written. Almost got it. Giovanni's got it. Cool. Okay, step number 1. I did it. Check off. Good job. Step number 2. Now I'm going to go back to that part in the text, and I'm going to read about where Carlos plays his music loud. I see some people already flipping there. Where does Carlos play his music loud? Look for it as I look for it. See if you can find the paragraph. I'm looking for it. You're looking for it. Which paragraph does he play the music loudly in? I think I found it. Point to it if you find it. I found it in paragraph number 7. All right. Looking over paragraph 7, I'm looking for where it talks about Carlos playing his music loudly. And I'm asking myself, why does he play his music loudly? In step number 2, I'm going to reread that part of the text, so let's do that. Here we go. Paragraph 7, track with me, point to the first word, Carlos, and let's read. Carlos was so upset that he stopped doing some of his chores. His dad was too busy to notice at first. Then Carlos even angrier. So that afternoon, he purposely made noise during Angela's nap. He played his music loudly and sang along. Angela woke up crying and would not go back to sleep. Carlos realized he hadn't been thoughtful. I'm going to underline my text evidence that talks about my inference, which was Carlos playing his music loudly. Alright? So Carlos playing his music loudly. He played his music loudly. I'm going to underline there. He played his music loudly, underlining in paragraph 7 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm looking for what caused him to play his music loudly. Well, I have to read a little bit before him. Why did he play his music loudly? Let's see. So that afternoon he purposely made noise. Okay, so I know he made noise on purpose, right? But why? Let's keep going. That made Carlos even angrier. Ooh, he's angry. Ooh, that's good text evidence. Underline that. He was angry. And then right before it, I'm going to find out, why was Carlos angry again? Let's see. What did it say? His father took away his allowance for a week. Ooh, would that make you angry? Yeah. Took away his allowance. Ooh. Dang, that's another good piece of evidence. Underline those 3 pieces of evidence. Took away his allowance. It made Carlos angry, so he played his music loud. Those 3 lines should be underlined. Be very specific. Ooh, I really like how specific you underlined. Nice job only underlining the parts that talk about why Carlos was mad. Good. All right. So I reread that part of the text. I underlined my text evidence. Check it out. Tracking me. I underlined my text evidence. And which question is this evidence for? Question number 1, right? So I'm going to write Q1 next to my evidence. Not on your question, but on your actual evidence page, on your text. Write Q1 next to it. Q1. Why did I write Q1? Because it's question 1, right? So Q1 is for question 1. Good job. Very nice. Step 2, I am done. Step 3, now I'm going to go back and fill in my thought bubble. All right, find your yellow page. I have my thought bubble for question number 1. All right, now I'm thinking I'm going to make that educated guess. I used 2 things to make an educated guess. Remember, I used the text and I used my brain, right? So I just looked at the text. Now I'm going to use my brain too. Why did Carlos play his music loud? Because, write it with me, because he was mad. He lost his allowance. Right, that's just what I read. And I'm using my brain too. Like, I know for myself, if somebody takes my money away, whoo, I'm mad. And I might act out, and I might play some music loud. Because Dad took my money, and that stinks. Great job filling in your thought bubble. 5 more seconds. Because he was mad, he lost his allowance. Ooh, very nice. All right, that's step number 3. I filled in my thought bubble with my inference. Now I'm on step number 4. I'm going to match my thought bubble with my answer choice. Look at the answer choices. Which one looks the most like... This is y'all's warning. Look at my answer choices. Which one looks the most like mine is what I'm wondering. A, he wants to make Angela smile. I'm even going to X out smile. Is this about her smiling? No. B, does not want to hear Angela cry. Did I hear anything about Angela crying? No.
Wait, yes?
Did it talk about Angela crying?
Yes, it's because when right here,
Oh,
when
Angela woke up
played
crying.
his music
Okay.
loud and sang along, Angela woke up crying.
Good push, Evan. So Angela did wake up crying. Is that